Welcome to my Moab Trail series, where I'll be sharing some trails that I ran during a recent trip to Moab that will showcase some of the most beautiful, rugged, and otherworldly trails in the desert. Over the next few episodes, I'll take you along for everything from slick rock and vast deserts to quiet canyon miles, showing what makes each trail unique and what it takes to run in the desert. But before we jump into the trails, I have to give a huge shout out to a partner of the channel, Koros. This trip was all about exploring, and my Koros Apex 2 Pro made it so easy to do just that. I conveniently mapped out each route ahead of time on my phone, seamlessly loaded it straight to my watch, and never had to worry about getting off course. And even with the navigation on for every trail run I did, the battery life was unreal. I didn't have to charge it once the entire trip and was able to even get a few runs in once I made it back home on that same charge. The Koros Apex 2 gave me the freedom to just run, explore, and take it all in. So thank you so much to Koros for partnering with me. You can use my code Mountain High Life to receive a free watch strap with your purchase. Again, thank you to Koros. Be sure to go check them out. All that to be said, let's jump into today's adventure. So here we are for episode 3 of my Moab Trail mini series. Now, I did not do this intentionally. However, I feel like every run I did got progressively more epic on this trip, and I am so excited to reminisce on day 3 of this particular Moab trip. What was really exciting about this particular adventure was I was going to be returning to some trails that I've visited pretty much every time I have trail run in Moab. However, my approach to this particular trail system and trails was going to be a little bit different this time around. I had planned an 11-mile point to point where Chandler would drop me off. I would run the Pipe Dream Trail to the Hidden Valley Trailhead, hop on the Hidden Valley Trail, take that trail into the actual Hidden Valley, which would intersect with the Moab Rim Trail, and from there, take the Moab Rim Trail to the Moab Rim terminus. That's where Chandler would be waiting to pick me up. However, like I mentioned, today's run had a little spice, a little fun that I wasn't quite expecting, and I am so excited to share that with you. So without further ado, let's jump into my Pipe Dream Hidden Valley Moab Rim adventure. Day 3, getting going on Sunday's run at 4:30. Today was kind of Chandler's day to get out, spend most of the day roaming some trails on his dirt bike, so I took it pretty easy. But today, I'm taking it somewhat, I was going to say easy, but who am I kidding? I'm going to be doing the Pipeline Trail to the Hidden Valley Trail, which is by far one of my favorite trails in Moab. I'm going to link that to the Moab Rim Trail, and Chandler's going to pick me up at the Moab Rim terminus. So looking at over 11 miles, I think 2,000 feet of elevation gain. We'll be on a mix of everything: dirt, slick rock, everything. So this first section to Hidden Valley will be about 4.5 miles. Should be fairly runnable. I haven't really done Pipe Dream before, so we'll see what we're in for. Then we'll have some good views and great afternoon. To interrupt today's episode to talk about the longtime partner of the channel, John G. For every run in this series, I relied on the Sun Chaser hoodie from John G to keep me protected from the elements of the desert. If you're looking for a great protective sun shirt that has a hood and the ability to keep you out all day, look no further than the Sun Chaser hoodie. You can click the link in the description, use my code Mountain High Life for 10% off your order. Thanks so much to John G for partnering with me, believing in my channel, and making superior running apparel. Now back to the video. 3 3/4 mile into this run, and we should be coming up within the next, 3/4 mile to the Hidden Valley Trail, which is awesome. But I'm realizing, so sunsets around 6:35 and I have probably like 7.5 miles left, and it's 5:26 right now. So I have about 70 minutes. So I'm definitely gonna be finishing after sunset. Thankfully, I'll be kind of on the opposite side of this wall, bluff, ridge, if you will. I do have my headlamp, but the name of the game for this effort is to just keep it moving. I was hoping to get some drone shots, but I really just don't want to finish this in the dark because Moab Rim, the descent back to the trailhead is a little technical, so I'm just gonna keep it moving. But Pipe Dream, super sick, fairly runnable, rocky, a little technical, but really awesome trail. So definitely enjoy it if you're looking for just a quick little jaunt. You could do an out and back and get like 9 miles. Super beautiful, great views of the town of Moab into the Sell Mountains. Really enjoyed Pipe Dream. To Hidden Valley. So we had a pretty stout climb in the very first mile of this whoops trail up into quite literally the Hidden Valley. So I'm gonna grind it out and then get to this beautiful smooth single track and then wind up on some slick rock. So we're now 5 miles in and the time is 5:44. It's fine though. It's really fine. I'm prepared. All is well. We're not going to freak out. We're not going to freak I just made it through probably the hardest bit of climbing for this evening. It's just about 6 o'clock, just over 5.5 miles left, so I anticipate we'll be finishing this in the dark, but all will be fine. I just hauled ass up that climb. It's super steep and punchy, big high steps, big rocks, but in just a moment we'll be on that single track. We'll run it out for a little bit. And I am into the valley now, making my way to the slick rock section. I have about 4.5 miles left and it is just so insanely beautiful with the sunset out this way. Quite enchanting. I got my map on my watch going and I am just going to focus and continue on, be very mindful of following the trail, but enjoy some solitude back here. It's so insanely beautiful and peaceful. Kind of windy though. And we might get a nice clear sky tonight to look at some stars, which would be awesome. So away we go. maybe 2.5 miles left, and and we hit the massive slick rock section, and then I can see where we'll kind of pop out on the rim, and then I'll probably have to throw my headlamp on once we get there. So yeah, it's so peaceful though. Okay, we got about a mile left. We're back on the town side of the rim, which feels very good and helps to put me at ease. It still isn't like dark out, but it's enough where I kind of need a headlamp. So we're making our way. Making our way. You can see the moon behind me. It's kind of epic, honestly. I feel safe in the desert. I don't know, it's just so wide open, you can see everything. So, feel good knowing we're pretty close and almost done too. So, stoked! Holy moly, it's gonna get dark going down this way. Here we go. Moab Rim in the dark. Absolutely do not recommend, but I've kind of made it out of the super spicy section, and I can see the river. I'm fairly certain I can see Chandler Park down below. Very technical descent, so do not recommend doing this in the dark, but thank God I got a good headlamp on. So less than a half mile, we'll cruise down and wrap up this adventure. What a freaking adventure, dude.
Right there next to it. Oh yeah, that's right.
Look who came to save me.
Double track, like
yeah, no, it turns into a double track. Pretty much the turn to like go down this little descent is where it gets technical, but
no, I remember. Yeah, I just remember coming down there last time. Honestly, I like this section. I mean,
I know you do.
Lottie farted. I like took her on this long walk to go back to the room.
Good girl. Look at you. You know where you're going, huh? Good girl. We've made it. We made it! Yay! We're at the truck. All is well. We did it. Let's see. 11.72 miles. Whew. We did it. Pipe Dream to Hidden Valley to Moab Rim to truck. Not quite a complete loop, but dang close. Stoked.
FKT.
Look at this. My hero. What a guy. Picking me up, meeting me on the trail. I did get lost for just a second, and then I hear, "Where are you?" So the one time,
what are you doing?
the one time I needed some help, he was there. So that's how you know. That's how you know it's true love.
Down.
How was that, Lottie Mae? You're such a good girl. Now we got to go get dinner. All right, I'll see you tomorrow for tomorrow's run. What an epic way to end the day. So no, I did not plan to run this after nightfall, but it was seriously so incredible. In a way, I'm kind of glad it happened. I had the most beautiful, pristine night sky. The moon, that was the first night that the moon was actually stayed above the horizon the entire time I was out there. And I think had I known I was going to run in the dark, I think I probably would have not decided to continue on and would have turned around. But I'm so glad I decided to just stick with it and have that little trail run experience in the dark, because it was just so magical. I love Moab, and the night sky out there is really, it's something to behold with your own eyes. So I really hope you get to go experience that for yourself someday. And although I had originally hoped that I would finish before nightfall, it was just so magical, beautiful, and such a unique way to experience these trails, unlike any other experience I had had on them prior. So it was truly its own unique experience. So for this adventure, I did run on 3 individual trails that I had linked together. I started on Pipe Dream, which is a pretty playful, fun trail that kind of winds and twists without too much exposure to the desert elements, not too much technical terrain, and no slick rock. So I think it's a really user-friendly trail for individuals who are newer to Moab or have not run in Moab. It's also easy to access, whether you start at the Hidden Valley Trailhead or at the Pipe Dream Terminus, which I will discuss in just a moment. The trail's very easy to access. You don't have to drive very far out of town to get to the trailhead. Now, one thing I do want to mention about Pipe Dream is where I actually started the trail at the terminus, it felt weird. You kind of are in a neighborhood and it feels as though you're on private property or in somebody's backyard, which you kind of are, but you really are on the trail. So it is just good to be mindful that you are in pretty close proximity to people's houses. But this trail follows an underground pipe, hence the name Pipe Dream. If you do start at the terminus or the side that is more northeast, I believe, it's just a little weird. You're probably not going to want to park a car there. You'll probably want to have somebody drop you off. But if you follow it down to the Hidden Valley Trail, it's very easy to get there. I did stay on the western side of the trail. It's a little bit higher up on this one particular kind of foothill, and it just offers some really great views. The terrain is a little bit more fun than if you were to stay lower. And like I said, it offers some really fun ups and downs, twists and turns without too much technical terrain. This trail was, for me, 5 miles from one point to the Hidden Valley Trailhead. So start to the Hidden Valley Trailhead. So you could make it a 10-mile out and back or 9-mile, just kind of depending on whatever you're looking for, or you could just do a point to point, have somebody come pick you up. And like I said, it's a great introductory trail for those who are just kind of getting familiar with Moab or just want to get a quick little trail run in without committing to anything too crazy. And you're not really ever at a point where you're too far away from civilization where it feels really remote. So it does feel pretty safe. It's very easy to access. It's easy to kind of get out of there quickly if you need to for some reason. The Hidden Valley Trail is spectacular in and of itself. This is one of my favorite trails in Moab. You can hike this, you can run this, but it starts out with a steep climb straight out the gate. It's a steep, technical, rocky climb with some high steps that'll bring you into kind of this almost valley, grassy area with some big, tall rock cliffs off to your left and views of the Mantilla Sal Mountains behind. And you'll reach this wonderful single track that you'll stay on for maybe half a mile to 3/4 of a mile, which you'll then reach almost a natural gate-like structure formation, if you will, in the rocks that will bring you into the Hidden Valley. And it is simply spectacular. I've run some very beautiful trails in my time. I've not run all the beautiful trails, but I just have to say Hidden Valley is a very special sacred trail in my heart. I would highly recommend this to anybody who really wants to get a good Moab adventure. It's just so beautiful and stunning, and you really get a bang for your buck in 5 miles. If you were to just do the 5-mile out and back to the Moab Rim, the views that this trail offers are just so spectacular, and the terrain it covers is just amazing. I can't say enough great things about Hidden Valley, so it's absolutely worth checking out, even if you don't do Pipe Dream or Moab Rim. Hidden Valley, amazing. Like I said, it is a steep climb up, so expect to hike maybe the first 3/4 of a mile till you reach that beautiful single track. It's just very steep and technical. And same thing when you head back to the parking lot, it's going to be a steep, technical, slow going descent. So just kind of prepare for that. I would say this is a great trail if you had a long day of travel and you're looking for a quick 2-hour excursion. You could do the Hidden Valley Trail and just really enjoy yourself, get some great views, get some and kind of a good introduction into the desert without really having to commit to anything too crazy. Just be careful, like I said, on that start finish of this trail. And Moab Rim. So you can access Moab Rim from the Moab Rim Trailhead. That is where I finished this route. Or you could kind of do a link where you start at Hidden Valley and then run over to the Moab Rim Trailhead. There's also a really great kind of lookout section where you can look out over the town of Moab and actually see into Arches National national park, and that makes a really nice out and back. I think it ends up being about 11 miles. I have done that before. I've also pretty much done a point to point where we shuttled Chandler and I with his parents on a previous trip, and that was really beautiful too. I think that ends up being 7 miles, perhaps. I don't know. I'm so sorry. But I'll put it on the screen for however long it actually is. But there is a level of commitment if you do want to venture out onto the Moab Rim Trail, especially if you're making it an out and back from Hidden Valley. Pretty much if you want to link Moab Rim to Hidden Valley or vice versa and kind of go from trailhead to trailhead and back, you're looking at a pretty solid double-digit mileage day. I think it ends up being 13 miles. And on Moab Rim, it is more of a 4x4 jeeper kind of trail. You're going to be on a lot of sand and a lot of slick rock. The terrain is just, it's not difficult to navigate, but it's just very interesting to run. And I do think that's worth noting. I also think it's really fun on the Moab Rim Trail to pay attention to some of the tire marks from people who have taken their Jeeps up on the trail, and just to kind of imagine taking a Jeep on some of those rock features, because it blows my mind the idea of being in a vehicle on some of those rock features and slopes. So I don't know. I think Moab Rim is really cool because it really provides a sense of solitude and a sense of, wow, I'm really out in the desert, that you don't quite get on Pipe Dream. You don't get quite the depth of like, I'm really out here in the desert and I am alone with nothing but rock and sand and wide open space around me. And it really is just so beautiful because you can just see desert land for miles, different rock formations. I mean, it really feels like at times you're looking out at another planet, and it's just so beautiful, so unique, and just a really cool trail and experience. I do think that once you reach Moab Rim, and the other thing I want to know about the Moab Rim Trail is very similar to the Hidden Valley Trail. The ascent out of the Moab Rim trailhead area and descent back to the trailhead is quite technical, pretty steep and rocky, so it's going to be slow going whether you're going up or down. And I think that's just important to note, that there will be a bit of hiking that you'll encounter. It's not going to be all trail running, so just being mindful of the fact that there's going to be a little bit of hiking and pretty technical terrain that you're going to run into. All in all, these 3 trails offer something totally different, unique, and fun. Whether you're seeking solitude, some quick fun miles, or views, you can certainly find anything you're looking for within this area. So some logistical things to note in regards to the route that I did. You might be wondering, could you make this a loop? And the answer is yes. But some things I wanted to point out is that in order to make this a complete loop, you would need to run on the Cane Creek Road, which is paved. However, it's not something I would personally do. I'm sure there's people that are braver than me out there, but it is kind of windy, and I don't recall how wide the shoulder is, but not really something I'm looking to do myself running on the road. That's why I utilized a shuttle. And just like many other trails in the desert, you won't be near any water, so be prepared and be sure to bring plenty of water when you are out on these trails. Now, Pipe Dream doesn't offer too much sun exposure or desert exposure, especially during certain times of the day, and the same kind of goes for Hidden Valley. However, if you do want to connect Hidden Valley to Moab Rim, you are going to be on some sections of trail that are very exposed to the sun and desert conditions. But once you kind of descend back towards Moab Rim or Hidden Valley, there are rock walls and rock formations that will provide a bit of shade. Again, time of day dependent, but just always be prepared. Bring adequate sun protection and different layers if need be to keep you safe and protected from the desert elements. But do what's best for you. Use your discretion, be smart, and make good decisions. So TLDR, if you're looking for a fun, somewhat challenging desert experience that offers views of the city of Moab, hard, steep climbs and descents, sand, slick rock, and solitude, this fun point-to-point run is definitely for you. So that is going to do it for today's episode. I do anticipate that throughout this series, I will be hopefully uploading 2 videos a week. So if you care to see more of the trails and adventures I embarked on during my time in Moab, consider subscribing. I'll also put a link to the route featured in today's video down in the description, as well as a pinned comment. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Any thoughts, questions, or concerns, you can leave it in the comments down below. Thank you again to Jonji and Koros for being partners of the Mountain High Life channel. Go give them some love, check them out. Links will be down in the description. And finally, thank you for sharing your time with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you get out on some trail today, and I'll see you in my next Moab adventure in my Moab mini series. Thanks for watching. Bye.